Hey folks, I'm meteorologist Alden German. I'm joined with a special guest. This is John Gordon. He's meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service Louisville office. So he is the one that oversees all the daily operations that go on at NWS. And he just happened to be around today, so I asked him to stop by briefly. And we're going to just kind of talk a little bit about this winter storm that we have coming our way, and I'd like you to kind of clarify on a few things that's,
Sure.
mainly some definitions that the public kind of gets confused about. So first, I want to show you our snow meter, which is the chance to see snowflakes. We have that set to likely tonight, and probably we could even upgrade that to get ready because we have that high confidence in snow arriving. But what I'm also going to show you here is the our current alerts map. So we have a winter weather advisory in place for Metro Louisville and really along I-64 and upwards. But what I'd like is for you to explain what exactly the difference is between these different advisories. We have the winter weather advisory here, but if we look broader up towards Indianapolis, we have this large swath of dark blue, and that's a winter storm warning. So explain to us what the difference is.
Okay, so warnings of more impact could be danger to life and property, and that's basically, you look on Interstate 44 from southwest Missouri up through St. Louis, Indianapolis, and up into Michigan. That's each office has their own criteria. In our office, we need more than 4 inches in 12 hours or 6 inches in 24. Indy's completely different. They need at least 6 inches, 6 or more. So they're completely different. So that means a greater likelihood of a substantial either heavy snow or heavy ice. That's what that would be for. So sleet, snow, and ice. For the Louisville Metro, you see that we're in, and along 64 and north, we're in the winter weather advisory. So we have that as for greater than equal to 1 inch. That's up to 4 inches total. But for this forecast, it looks like a 1 to 3 event, more to the north as you go into southern Indiana.
It's also going to be fairly windy tonight. Does wind speed play any role into those alerts?
Yes, well, in terms of wind chills, if that is a problem. If we got real cold temperatures, you noticed that a few weeks ago in the mid-December, we had wind chill warnings and advisories. Wind will be mentioned in the product itself. This is a cold rain and wet snow kind of event, a transition event where we're on the edge. Louisville's always on the edge, isn't it? So we're on the edge again, folks. And I think if you are in southern Indiana, you're going to have a lot more impacts than you are in the Louisville Metro.
So you mentioned being on the edge, which kind of comes up to my next point. So we often say that when it comes to winter weather, storm track is very, very important. So here's a look at the early afternoon model run from today. By 10:30, we'll start to see some of that rain coming in. But what's made this storm difficult is that exact storm track, because a difference of 50 miles can mean all rain or all snow. So by 3:30, that center of the storm hasn't quite gotten here yet, but the trend has been a little bit further northward. So kind of explain briefly why that storm track is so critical in any type of winter storm
Absolutely.
forecasting.
So folks, now you see what the hurricane people go through. Just a little bit of a track of movement of the low or the hurricane, everything changes. So in this case, the low is coming up from the southwest. And you hear Alden and the folks here at WHS talk about the different data, the different models, and each one of those models has different members in there, and we look to see the members of the computer models of the equations, how it will shift based on the data, like amount of cold air, amount of lift, amount of moisture, amount of everything, and the track of the low is everything with this event. Every model run has basically been shown the further north you go, the more you're going to get. It's a very small window to get a bunch of heavy snow, and we don't have the temperatures that will bring a lot of accumulated snow. Sorry, kids, this is not one of these giant January 94 events, okay? It's just the way it goes. We're in sales, not production.
But we could still maybe see some impacts on the roads just because it's coming so close to that morning bus run. So maybe in southern Indiana, we still get heavy enough snow in some of the rural areas in particular that maybe there's a school delay here or there, but school closing probably not as likely, especially if you're south of the river. It's not going to be an all-day event. We're going to have some dry air move in for the afternoon, but Thursday
Snow showers.
could see some persistent snow showers, and those are notorious for overproducing sometimes, so we could still pick up maybe a quick additional half-inch on
These are
Thursday.
the ones that are more problematic. You see that on the screen there at 9:30 Thursday. So if you were to get, that won't be the exact location, but that's generally a trend that you're having flow from the northwest to the southeast. So places, let's say it's Scottsburg or Paoli, if you get under one of these, you could get a quick burst of snow that can cause immediate impacts. People think, well, it's sunny out. Well, here comes this one snow shower. Next thing you know, there's a half or 3/4 of an inch of snow in 15 minutes, and now you've got traffic wrecks up there. So this is something to watch for on Thursday.
And speaking of snow, here's our updated snow total. We're calling it a slushy snow like what we had on a Sunday, just because those temperatures are going to be so close to the freezing mark. And when you have snow falling, but your temperatures are near freezing, that snowflake is going to be melting a little bit too. So that's why it gets so slushy and it doesn't stick around for very long.
That's a very good term. Slushy snow would be a very appropriate term. I mean, you saw the temperatures there on the weather model cast, and you know, we're not going to be in the mid to low 20s to accumulate. We're going to have a very slushy snow and or cold rain, really.
All right, John. Well, thanks for coming by for that quick visit.
Appreciate our partnership, brother. Have a good day.
Very nice. John and the Weather Service, they're the ones that put out those alerts, those winter weather advisories and the like that we talk about. There's a lot more thought that goes into them than you might expect at home. They're talking to Indianapolis.
These gray hairs are coming from.
Yeah, I've noticed a few myself. They talk to Indianapolis, Paducah, neighboring Weather Service offices. They're all looking at the same storm, and they all want to try to get their communication and the messaging right for the public, and then we try to convey that to you as well. And sometimes it is a bit complicated, but this storm seems a little bit more cut and dry.
Weather is a very humbling business, especially in winter. I'm telling you, we work our tails off, our partnership, to try to get it right for you.
All right, John, thanks a lot, and we'll be talking.
Peace.